Joint Publication 2-0, Joint Intelligence. Chapter 1. The Nature of Intelligence. Quote, by intelligence, we mean every sort of information about the enemy and his country. The basis, in short, of our own plans and operations. Karl von Clausewitz, On War, 1832. 1. Introduction. The management of and integration of intelligence into military operations are inherent responsibilities of command. These responsibilities are performed at every echelon of command and across the range of military operations. Technology enables joint force and component commanders and their staffs to access in near real time very large amounts of information relating to aspects of the operational environment, OE, the composite of the conditions, circumstances, and influences that affect the employment of capabilities and bear on the decisions of the commander. Information covering a wide range of issues relating to friendly, neutral, and adversary forces and the civilian populace will be available throughout the joint force. There will also be a large volume of information concerning weather, terrain, cultural influences, and other aspects of the OE. This mass of information can be distilled into intelligence to support a predictive estimate of the situation, as well as adversary capabilities and intentions. It is this estimative nature of intelligence that distinguishes it from the mass of other information available to the commander. A. Information is of greatest value when it contributes to the commander's decision-making process by providing reasoned insight into future conditions or situations. This may occur as a result of its association with other information from the commander's experience. Raw data by itself has relatively limited utility. However, when data is collected from a sensor and processed into an intelligible form, it becomes information and gains greater utility. Information on its own may be of utility to the commander, but when related to other information about the OE and considered in the light of past experience, it gives rise to a new understanding of the information, which may be termed intelligence. The foundation of the process that produces intelligence is built by analysts relating or comparing information against other information or a database and drawing conclusions. The relationship between data, information, and intelligence is graphically depicted in Figure 1-1. Ultimately, intelligence has two critical features that distinguish it from information. Intelligence allows anticipation or prediction of future situations and circumstances, and it informs decisions by illuminating the differences in available courses of action, COAs. B. Intelligence provides the commander a variety of assessments and estimates that facilitate understanding the OE. Assessments are situational. For example, some assessments will be threat-based, providing an analysis of threat capabilities and intentions. Others are population-based, providing the commander an analysis of socio-cultural factors. With predictive, accurate, and relevant intelligence estimates, commanders gain an advantage in the OE by understanding an adversary's decision-making cycle and possibly predicting and countering adversarial operations. Regardless of the situation, intelligence assessments and estimates enable commanders to formulate plans and make better decisions based on this knowledge. Thus, predictive, accurate, and relevant intelligence can mitigate the risks inherent in military operations and increase the likelihood of success. C. Intelligence is not an exact science. Intelligence analysts will have some uncertainty as they assess the OE, as should the commander and staff as they plan and execute operations. Intelligence, as the synthesis of quantitative analysis and qualitative judgment, is subject to competing interpretation. It is therefore important that intelligence analysts communicate the degree of confidence they have in their analytic conclusions. Such communication of analytic confidence helps intelligence consumers in deciding how much weight to place on intelligence assessments when making a decision. One methodology intelligence personnel may use to assign a confidence level to their analytic conclusions or intelligence assessments is discussed in Appendix A, Intelligence Confidence Levels in Analytic Judgments. D. Intelligence includes the organization's capabilities and processes involved in the collection, processing, exploitation, analysis, and dissemination of information or finished intelligence. Intelligence, however, is not an end in itself. To increase the operational relevance of intelligence, intelligence planners and managers should anticipate consumer needs. Thus, an examination of whether intelligence is effective or influential not only depends on the intelligence organizations, processes, and products, but must also examine users' intelligence needs. Explicit user requirements, identified and properly communicated to intelligence organizations by intelligence planners, initiate the appropriate intelligence activities. Intelligence products provide users with the information that has been collected and analyzed based on their requirements. It is important to remember that because the OE is dynamic, intelligence is a continuous activity. 2. The roles and responsibilities of joint intelligence. The primary role of joint intelligence is to provide information and assessments to facilitate mission accomplishment. This role is supported by a series of specific responsibilities to guide the intelligence directorate of a joint staff, J2, and supporting organizations, see Figure 1-2. For further information, see Joint Publications JP 2-01.3, Joint Intelligence Preparation of the Operational Environment. A. Inform the commander. Intelligence directly supports the Joint Force Commander, JFC, in planning, executing, and assessing the impact of those operations. The J2 analyzes the adversary and other relevant aspects of the OE and produces assessments on a continuing basis to support the commander in creating and/or exploiting opportunities to accomplish friendly force objectives. For example, to maintain the initiative, the JFC will seek to understand and potentially influence the adversary's decision-making process. Example, the JFC will seek new and accurate intelligence that will enable friendly forces to take effective action faster than the adversary. The J2 should assess the characteristics of the adversary's decision-making process and identify weaknesses that may be exploited. The J2 should disseminate intelligence in a timely manner to the JFC, staff, and components. B. Describe the OE. Present the OE as a confluence of the conditions, circumstances, and influences that affect the employment of friendly and adversary forces. Describing this OE to the commander and the staff affects the commander's COA assessment as well as future operations. C. Identify, define, and nominate objectives. All aspects of military planning are dependent on the determination of clearly defined, achievable, and measurable objectives. When identifying and nominating objectives, the J2 should understand the command's responsibilities, the JFC's mission and intent, means available, including host nation and multinational forces, interagency partners, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and intergovernmental organizations, IGOs, the adversary, weather, and characteristics of the operational area. Intelligence should increase the commander's understanding of the threat and adversary's probable intentions, end states, objectives, most likely and most dangerous COAs, strengths, and critical capabilities. This allows the J2 to recommend objectives, requirements, and centers of gravity, COGs. Once these objectives are approved by the commander, the J2 must continuously review them with respect to the adversary and the changing situation to determine whether they remain relevant to the commander's intent. D. Support the planning and execution of operations. Commanders and staffs at all levels require intelligence to plan, direct, conduct, and assess operations. This intelligence is crucial to commanders, staffs, and components in identifying and selecting specific objectives and targets, associating them with desired effects, and determining the means to accomplish the JFC's overall mission. The J2 supports the execution of the plan with the strategic, operational, and tactical intelligence needed to sustain the operation. E. Counter-adversary deception and surprise. Joint false vulnerability to threat denial and deception will be determined, in large part, by the threat efforts to deny and deceive collection efforts. Intelligence analysts should remain sensitive to the possibility that they are being deceived and should consider all possible adversary capabilities and intentions. Similarly, analytical approaches that emphasize anomalies characterized by a lack of activity, example, absence of seasonal training, important persons missing from ceremonial events, are particularly valuable. To counter adversary deception efforts, intelligence analysts must confirm their analysis using multiple and proven analytical methods and processes. Example, use of red teams, devil's advocates, alternative hypotheses. F. Support friendly deception efforts. Altering the perception of an adversary to mislead or delude helps achieve security and surprise. Intelligence and counterintelligence, CI, support effective friendly information operations, IO, through socio-cultural analysis, SCA, of adversary leadership characteristics. The J2 also assesses how the adversary is reacting to the friendly deception effort. Identifying deception objectives to complement operational objectives should be an interactive process which is aided by the use of a red team or red cell. For further information, see JP 3-13 Information Operations. G. Assess the effectiveness of operations. Intelligence helps evaluate military operations by objectively assessing their impact on the adversary and other relevant aspects of the OE with respect to the JFC's intent and objectives. Intelligence should assist JFCs in determining if operations are producing desired or undesired effects, when objectives have been attained, and when unforeseen opportunities can be exploited or require a change in planned operations to respond to adversary, enemy actions.